I'm saying I know that what we're supposed to be talking about is the brother and his
Don't go
situation.
left, Beans. Don't go left. I feel like you about
Now,
to
I
go
don't
left.
want to go left. I don't want to go left. I want to say that I just think at this point I don't even understand why we still promote marriage.
Wait, stop. You going left.
It's not left,
No,
right?
I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to
I'm
hear it.
interested in hearing it. I'm
Yeah,
interested.
all
You know
right.
what? It's not left, right? Because so I think it was Frederick Douglass who said it's easier to build strong boys than it is to repair broken men, right? And we keep sending men down this same path, and then they need to fix themselves later. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and all this other stuff, right? Like it's some things that I think we just need to change. Marriage being one of them. Just take that off the table. Like, don't even make that a part of the conversation at this point. I think if you in a relationship with a woman and y'all breaking up and you got kids, especially if your kids is boys, you need to go out of your way to get them. You need to go out of your way to get them. I'm not saying fight till it hurt. I'm just saying at least try to get your boys straight up, because at this point it's why I be trying to do other things. When I make red pillish shorts, YouTube be like, here go 10,000 views. When I make just any kind of other real content telling the truth, 12 views. Right? Because it's like at this point, I'm tired of even listening to it. Like honestly, listening to these men continuously going through these struggles, these men that's all of the things outside of being six-figure millionaires, they're all of the other things that women swear up and down they want, and they keep ending up in front of judges. They keep ending up in the child support court. They keep ending up going through divorces. They keep ending up being cheated on, being left, and all this other stuff. And it's just like, at what point, if we're supposed to be talking about what's best for men and the mental health of men and the emotional health of men and the physical health of men, right? At what point do we start saying, okay, men need to start making better decisions for themselves, and it not necessarily be about a fake community or the government or the country or any of this other stuff, but just about yourself?
That last part that you said is official because, and here's the funny thing: when we talking about marriage and relationship, I don't agree. Marriage is the best thing that ever happened to me, right? The question is, was I right for marriage?
There we
That's the
go.
question,
That's
right?
it.
So here's the funny thing about that: nobody, no man, no
One
man.
second question. I'm
Yeah.
gonna read this real quick. He
Yeah.
said we got a $5 super chat. Well, $4.99 super chat. He says, salute, brothers.
Tax.
Great discussion. Thank
Yeah.
you, man. Sorry
Salute.
about that. Go ahead.
Word
Salute.
up.
Salute.
So one of the things that I teach people who are moving into marriage, like, don't do this if you're not going to become the very best friend, very best version of yourself you could possibly be. Right? A marriage is only as dope as its least developed individual. So if I'm not, case in point, I was married in 2003 and divorced in 2005. They statistically say that the second time that you get married is even quicker of a divorce than the first time you got married. Well,
Man,
I beat
what you do?
I beat that statistic because I'm walking into 13 years of marriage now. Right? And blissfully, if I may say so. But the reason why it's blissfully is not because I don't face challenge. It's not because I don't face difficulty. It's because I've changed as an individual. I've done the soul work. And a lot of the times what we want to do is say relationship ain't dope, marriage ain't dope. Those things that cause us to be committed one to another is because we're not the best version of ourselves we can be. So you can't put the expectation on somebody who is not even committed to themselves to be committed to somebody else.
No, I think, to me, and I'm not gonna say what you're saying. So Quest, don't assume this. This is I am doing something that I ask people not to do to me. So I want to apologize. I am interpreting. And my interpretation by what you're saying is that men have to be perfect. And
No.
I know you're not, right? But
We don't.
But the interpretation will be that. You know why? Because in those vows, it specifically says for better or for worse.
Yeah.
So what's the point of taking the vows if it's ever worse? Then it was okay for her to leave you because you were at your worst.
No.
Please answer the question.
No. We're saying that I'm going to be committed to you, whether the situation is good or whether it's bad. I don't
Right.
get to just pick up and leave because the situation got bad.
Right. So here's what I'm saying. A person walked down the aisle with you. They took those vows, and you're saying that when you were at your worst, which was by your own words, you weren't prepared for marriage, which means you weren't that when they took the vows.
Right.
Okay, so then that's not a reason for them to leave you.
No. And that might be right for each person's,
For better or for worse.
for whatever your interpretation is. I'm saying that you don't take the vow until you become the best version of yourself. It's a vow, and it's a lifetime vow.
Right.
So you take that vow when you become the best version of yourselves. A lot of people like to get into relationship based on chemistry, and I'd be like, it's really more so about compatibility than it is chemistry.
Wait, let's say I agree with you. So at what age, right? Because we can pinpoint this. No, don't get mad at facts. We can pinpoint this. So at what age is the average man the best version of himself?
I couldn't tell you that because I don't reduce it to an age.
It depends on the person.
For some people, the light comes on at 35.
But see, that's what I'm saying.
We can't at 22, and it all depends on how you respond to life and where you currently are in terms of your position.
Respectfully, we cannot have a honest, generalized, intellectual conversation dealing with some. We can't. We have to have conversations on a macro level. So you can absolutely thank you his ghetto point of view, right? So you can absolutely say that when a man gets to the best version of himself is going to be in his 40s and 50s, because that's usually when men hit their financial peaks.
What do you consider to be the best version of yourself?
Wait, but that's not the point.
No, it is very much the point, because if you're saying a man doesn't do that until 40, 45, then what is the range of things that we determine to say the best version of yourself? Because if that's the case, then I just didn't hit it until just recently.
He just said financial. So that's what he's concentrating on.
But that's
what a lot of women judge you by.
Right. And that's exactly true, right? What Quint just said. But that's not even the point. Listen, Quest, here's the thing. Yep. The best version of myself, and I dare Chill to act like this ain't true according to his own thinking, right? The best version of myself can't be making $30,000 a year.
But it cannot also be reduced to just making that amount.
That's not the point. It's not about whether or not, it's not about it just being reduced. The fact of the matter is the best version of myself has to be making the most money that I can make. But that's the best version of myself according to how you all break it down.
Can I jump in, Quest? Can I jump in? Because see, like we what we tend to do, especially with my brother Beans, and I have a dear place in my heart for you, brother Beans. But what tends to happen, brother Beans, we go into all these segues and everything. I want to bring the attention back to our brother who really does need, you know what I'm saying, the community right now. You know what I'm saying? My brother going through a divorce, 5 kids, all right? 5 kids that he no longer has the luxury or the pleasure of being in their lives, man. They're in a different state. You know, we can get back. Hold on. We can get back to that in a little bit. Beans, we can definitely get back to that. But the problem is we never give solutions.
What's the solution?
See,
but we have to respectfully ask him if he want our solutions, or is he just enjoying the conversation?
No, this is what Chill does, right? He feels like he always has the solutions to everybody's problem. So I want everybody to pay attention to this because he won't have any. What's the solution to Lucian's problems?
All right, Lucian, I'm going to be the devil. I'm going to be the devil. This is probably going to be advice that nobody has never told you. Now, how long y'all been separated?
For about a year.
All right. How many times have you seen the kids in that year?
Quite a few times.
Quite, like traveling and everything?
Well, yeah. Well, that's separated since December in terms of the distance, them being in another state. I go out twice a month since then to see the kids, to spend time with the kids.
All right. And how old are you right now?
I am 38.
38. How old are your kids? How old are 5 kids?
17, 13, 12. My son is 9, and my youngest girl is 2.
And are you currently on child support?
It's in motion, yeah.
All right, brother, I'm gonna give you my advice, and I'm not saying you have to take it, but because of the struggles that black men that I see my brothers go through, I this is the advice that I give them: cut ties. You have the opportunity and the time to start over. She doesn't. Once you find out that you have more time than she does, you will only hurt for 2.2 seconds. People might hate my advice, people might like my advice, but it's the truth.
When you say cut ties, what do you mean by that?
Start over. The kids will understand and they'll come back to them if because what ends up happening, what tends to happen, and we can all look this up and check it out. Usually when the father is separated from the children then start to turn on the father. Not saying in all cases, but in a lot of cases, because they're constantly with the mother. That's a
Yeah.
brutal experience to go through. I don't
That's
wish that
act-
on no man. I wish that on no man. That shit is painful.
that's actually
And
the case.
you don't have to tell me. I already know. That's why I'm saying this. I know what you're going through. I know exactly what you're going through. That's why my advice is kind of harsh. That's why my advice is painful.
I mean,
But
it's
I'm sorry.
something
Go ahead, bro.
that's crossed my mind, but at the same time, I just love my kids so
I
much.
know.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
So
I
throughout
know.
the separation and this distance, I wreck my brain to try to make sure that my presence is still there, that I'm still doing my job as best as I can,
Hmm.
given the circumstances. More than just me popping up and us having a good time, but really instilling in them what I want to instill in them and things of that nature, trying to get creative and find new ways to, you know what I'm saying, really still do my job. But I came to a harsh realization the other day, unfortunately, that a certain a bad picture has been painted of me to
Hmm.
my kids,
Yep.
and it's to the point where it's affecting our communication,
Oh yes.
and it is hard, it's rough, and it sometimes put me in a space of like, I can't do this. I'm just so fucking. I'm gonna give up. But I just love my kids too much. It's just coming up without a father and knowing what
Mm.
that did to me.
This the part
Yeah.
that pisses me off. This is why my advice is that pisses me off because it's killing him and it's eating away at this man's heart. He wants to be in these kids' lives no matter what, no matter what. And guess what? The trouble is she knows that.
That's why she
Yeah.
did what she did.
And
Hey,
But I
whenever a
played a
woman,
part in
I get it. I
her
get it. Trust me, I
actually
played a
moving.
part in my wife leaving my black ass. I
Yeah.
knew I played a part. I know what it was.
Wait a minute.
hey,
Since
hey,
we
can you
since we
guys hear me
making
real
this,
quick?
yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Professor.
yeah, we can.
I'm gonna say this, and I'll let Beans have it. I've never been married, but I do have a daughter. Um, it was a very difficult situation where like Chill was saying, I thought about signing over my rights,
You
Mm.
can't.
and I can sign on my. She's in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I can sign my rights over.
You can. She has to be
Yes.
married, right?
Say it
Or you
again.
could I said she don't have to be married in order for
No,
you
no,
to
I can sign my rights over at any point, and
damn.
I no longer had support or anything like that. I no longer have I don't have any kind of parental rights to her. But
Absolutely.
so
Mhm.
I went down that road. But I was and my daughter and I had a big argument in front of the White House one day, and my daughter, who will be 20 this year, she's now coming to see that the things her mom was saying to her or didn't say to her
Mhm.
was not true. And
Mhm.
now we have more of a relationship now because not only did I keep staying in her life, I I told her, I told her mom, I said, listen, I don't care what we have to do, but we have to figure out how to show that we love each other for the children. It's not about us. It's just showing how we love each other for the children. Because what happened was, like, she came down to a family reunion without even telling me. Like, how are you coming to my family reunion of people I don't know and just showing up out the blue? But I couldn't see my daughter when I was 2 states away, so it was a crappy situation. But now that my daughter's older and she can see, like, you know what, you kept trying to be in my life, and mom made it a little bit more difficult. she respects me more for it. We have a better relationship. We've spoken more now than we have in the 18 years she was alive, 16 years, because we started this around 16. So I wouldn't say give up. I say keep trying to do whatever you can, because at some point those kids will get old enough to understand that it wasn't your fault, that you tried to do what you could do and mom made it difficult. And at that point they may turn against their mother. But I would say don't give up, because I thought about it and I decided not to. My mom told me don't do it, and I kept fighting.
And that's exactly what I'm
I
doing.
think that is a story of a lot of men. I personally don't think you should cut ties with the children. You know what I'm saying? Like those are your spawn, right? And in some cases, you know, you'll have these women that will bad talk, will bash or whatever. And what really ends up happening is exactly what Professor just said. Eventually, the children will come around to realize their mother's ways. Sometimes. And I see that happen more often than none, right? So to kind of push aside something that you brought here, the children will resent you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe in an order of life, right? What you do bring here is your responsibility. So I would say do the best you can to, I don't want to say, because the court system is sucks, man. And it's something that
it's not made for us all. Yeah.
Nah. You know, and it sucks. And you have people today like, oh, well, it's still 50-50 and now it's 50-50 and men have rights. No, we don't.
We don't.
No, we don't.
Especially
men go through this every day. Every day. So, but I would still say, you know, at the end of the day, when the kids realize what the father did to try his best, yeah, that the mother will have to live with that.
That's what's gonna make
you know what. This was my point earlier, right? Like, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to personalize it to bro, because that's just gonna make me upset. So I'm trying to keep it general so I can have a non-emotional conversation, right? The fact of the matter is that this is what I'm saying. We need to have preventative conversations, right? To stop the younger people, cats that may be in certain situations now where they headed down that road, to not end up in these same predicaments, right? Because Gary Owen was just saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? He ain't talked to or seen his kids in 3.5 years. You know, the well has been poisoned with them too, bro. As far as I know, I done buried a lot of people, bro. Over my 46 years on this earth, I have buried a lot of people, including my little brother, right? They never come back. Nobody. So what I've been telling my son since he's been able to, or old enough to understand English, is, bro, you got to love you. You got to care about you. You got to put you first. Forget these girls. I get it. I left the house when you were 6 years old, but you grew up with another man in the house. You had a stepdad. So you ain't really been without no father figure in and out the house. You had me and him. So you ain't hurting for no love and no attention and none of that. Bro, forget these girls. Focus on you. When I saw that he was really starting to get into girls at 14 GMT, hey, listen, stay away from black girls. Don't do it.
What?
Absolutely. Because
just black girls? You didn't say girls in general. You said just black girls.
I told him to stay away from black girls because I knew what my son was going through. God. Emotionally, my son was looking for somebody to love and have a family with and all that other shit based on what he had lost.
Lord,
right?
Man, you gotta get that boy done up.
Nah, I'm not.
Them chicks gonna tear him up out there, man.
They not. He been all right. He Gucci. Right?
How many times he done got dumped?
And that's really
once.
Something.
He's only had 2 girlfriends.
Only.
He had one girl for 3 years, and another girl, the girl he with now, he been with for 2 years. The first girl was part white. Her mama was white. The daddy was like some kind of African, and then the new girl is first generation Mexican, right? So El Salvadorian, something crazy like that, right? And I remember I felt bad one time when I heard him telling his friends on the phone they was trying to convince him to talk to this girl that liked him, and he's like, "Look, I don't want to date nobody black." Right. And I realized he had got that from me. But the fact of the matter is, what I'm saying is preventative maintenance, brothers. Right. This is what we always do. We stand at the bottom of the river trying to pull niggas out and tell them what they need to do to fix themselves instead of going to the top of the river and stopping them from falling in the first place.